Welcome to our first ever webinar. I'm going to start off the webinar by showing you our prototype in our lab. We're here at our office in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So without further ado, we're going to take you into our lab and kind of show you around, show you our first generation prototype, which we built about a little over a year ago and have been doing in-house testing. We've run 5,000 cycles through our first generation prototype, and we're extremely confident in about moving forward and building our second generation. The second generation unit is built to be placed in the market. Here in Baton Rouge, we're going to install one unit in 6 to 8 months in Baton Rouge and run it for 3 months. And then hopefully, if things go well, we will build 2 additional units. We're partnered up now with Hello Picnic, which offers a topping system. So we're going to do 1 unit without Picnic's topping system. That'll be our first build model, second generation. And then after that, we will install a Picnic automated topping system in our third generation that we put out in Baton Rouge, and we're going to run that for 3 months as well. So without further ado, we'll take you into our lab, and I'll kind of explain our prototype and our technology and how everything works. All right, so this is our little office. We work here in Baton Rouge. It's a little tech park that we work at. And this is our office part. This is our lab. Got a little commissary set up over here. And we have a fryer, some 3D printers, 3D printers, and a dough press, and a CNC shop in the back that Sanjay hand built. So that's our lab. This is our first generation prototype. We built this a little over a year ago, and we moved it from Shreveport, Louisiana to Baton Rouge. We contracted out our initial engineering for the first prototype to a group out of Shreveport. They did a great job. As you can see, the unit works. We've run 5,000 cycles through it, and it's a great proof of concept model. We're now ready to build a second generation, which will be our first field unit. So in the next 6 to 8 months, we're going to be building our first generation software platform, which is a dashboard that can communicate off-site to our field unit. We do that through our PLC. Our PLC has a Linux gateway attached to it, and it can set orders coming in. We're pairing up with a company called Waiter, also DoorDash in this area to accept our delivery orders. And then we have an app for our takeaway orders. Okay, so we prepare all of our entrees in compostable packaging. This is bamboo, sugarcane, bagasse packaging. This is a 14-inch diameter exterior, 12-inch interior. We can do a 16-inch diameter packaging and offer 14-inch and 12-inch, but with our first field units, we've decided just to stick to 12-inch only, and this is going to be the exact packaging. We have a patent pending on our packaging. It's a design patent, and what we did was we didn't want to slice the pizzas mechanically because it's a maintenance nightmare. It also forces us, from an engineering standpoint, to include a water line because you have to rinse the blades. You have to have a filtration system, potable water, a connection line, water connection line. So we decided to design around that so that we can just set up as an electric-only unit and keep our maintenance extremely low. Also, our permitting is a lot faster. So we have a recess. We're doing our packaging with a company called World Centric. We're also talking to Zoom Packaging. They're out of the Midwest, and so we do our packaging is totally compostable. We have a recess in the lid. This is part of our patent pending, where you can take a little 20-cent pizza cutter, has a bottle opener on it. It's very reliable. You can do all types of customer engagement on our pizza cutter. For example, you could have 4 different colors or 5 different colors, and you have a QR code. So the customers start collecting the bottle openers. They have a QR code on it. They can scan it with their phone. It'll upload to their app, and if they get all 5 colors, they get their 6th pizza for free. So there's a lot of things that we can do with our pizza cutter that nobody else can. But it pops into the lid. The lid is loaded into the lid placer. When the box with the pizza in it comes out of the oven, the lid falls down into place, and you can pull it off. And it completes the packaging. So it's pizza cutter with the packaging. We've done a lot of testing with this. It works really well. So with the design on the unit, this is our fridge. We store products in a range of 34 degrees Fahrenheit to 38 degrees Fahrenheit. That's our range. The products are stored at the second generation fridge, by the way. We're going to build in a cylinder or cylindrical shape. And we're doing that because it reduces the load of AC that you have to hold to keep the products cold. But it's going to be a fridge. We don't want to cook from frozen. That's a big no-no for us. We've been working with Dr. Lynn Carson, owner or founder of Bakerspedia, which is like the Wikipedia of bakers or baking. So she's been working with us for the last several months, and we've come up with a formulation that will hold the crust stable without any staling for 3 to 5 days. And we use some enzymes for that, some softening, and some enzymes that help retain water in the crust. And it works really well. So we have a fridge. It's going to be a cylinder shape. It holds 240 entrees. The entrees could be a 12-inch pizza. It could be breadsticks. We've done cheesy bread. We've also done cinna sticks. So whatever you hold in here, we pre-program the shelves. And with our PLC, we currently have a Mitsubishi PLC that we're about to change. But what we do is we create custom icons for whatever food products we're going to store in the fridge. And we can drag and drop on our dashboard to the shelves, and that automatically populates the shelf and tells it what you're loading in that shelf, and then it tells our system, because our PLC connects to our control board, and we have a working agreement with Middleby Corporation, who makes this Turbo Shelf. Turbo Shelf is a subsidiary of Middleby, but we plug our PLC into the control board of the conveyor oven, and that allows us to, when you drag and drop the icons and upload them onto the shelves of the fridge, it allows the oven to know what you're about to cook, and it changes the melt speed immediately, so that you can run whatever you want to for you. You can run a product that takes 4 minutes to cook, like chicken wings, chicken tenders, which is roughly 3 minutes and 45 seconds, pizzas, 2.5 minutes, cheesy bread and breadsticks, 1 minute and 10, cinna sticks, roughly 45 to 50 seconds. So you can have a really wide range of products that we run through our system that's unique to our system. And it allows us the flexibility to be universal. You've seen a lot of pizza kiosks out in the market. They're designed specifically for pizzas. We wanted to keep ours agnostic to what we want to load. You can be extremely flexible, and the programming is extremely simple. So you want to load, pizzas with wings, great, we can do it, no problem. If you want to set it up with wings and chicken tenders, that's fine too. So anyway, that's the fridge portion. It comes into our turbo shelf. We have the cavity temperature set at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. And like I said earlier, the pizzas cook in 2.5 minutes. They go through, apply a lid, to let you know about, which is new. We just formed a partnership with Picnic. Picnic Works out of Seattle. They make a pizza toppings system which can customize pizzas with up to 9 toppings, or say 7 toppings, because 2 of the toppings are cheese and pizza sauce. So that doesn't really count because that's going to be on every pizza. But up to 7 custom toppings. For our pizza crust, we have a really good traditional raised edge crust, 12-inch. We have a really good artisanal crust, and we have a really good thin crust. And we can run all of those through our setup with the same setup with minimal programming. Anyway, the products come through. We complete the packaging. We have the ability to add Hello Picnic. That's an extra software subscription. We don't pay for the hardware, which is great. Keeps the cost of the unit low for the operators. So anyway, they come through, apply the lid. The lid that pops in, we have a compression system right here, which is really simple. There's no electrical. It's just a one cylinder is higher than the lower, and it pops it on. It works extremely well, and it's a very dumb design, but at the same time, it's very smart because it's extremely functional. So the product comes into our warmer, and I guess we can take these off. So our warmer is set at 175 degrees Fahrenheit, and if you can see in here, we have our heating cabinets down at the bottom. We have 2. We have redundancy in case one goes down. We will have 2 sensors in the warmer. Let me back up real quick. I forgot something. When the pizza or the product comes out of the oven, we have a fixed mount, high resolution camera like a GoPro, and we also have a laser that's fixed mounted to take 2 sensors of the pizza. That attaches to the receipt of the customer. So every customer that places an order with us, they get a picture when you make the pizza in the commissary. We have a fixed mount there that you run it through, takes a high resolution camera on the pizza. Right after you make it, it has a timestamp on it, so that you know when it was made. Then when you load it into our transfer cases, which we have a working relationship with a company called Container USA, you can set that in the back of a van or a flatbed truck or a large car, like a midsize SUV. It plugs into a alternator of a car and runs off of that. But we track the temperature in those units, those transfer cases, with 2 sensors in the container unit. We do that for redundancy in case one goes down, but it plugs into our Wi-Fi, sends us a live feed of the temperature while it's in transit. All of this is stored, every single bit of data that we gather on making the orders, transferring them. Once we load them into the fridge unit, we have 2 sensors in here, the thermo cooler sensors. So we track the product and we save the information onto a local server so that when if the customer does complain, say, I ordered a pepperoni pizza and I got a meat lovers pizza. Okay, so it's an issue. We want to, like our company, RZ, has the customer service. We bill the operator monthly for customer service. We take over the customer service. We can log into that customer's receipt. We can see everything that happened to that product before it got into the hands of the customer, and we can either issue a refund and then offer a discount on their next order, or we can review it if the customer was fibbing about, they're just trying to get a free refund. We can tell it. We have the accountability with our system, with our vision system and our sensors. So I wanted to bring that up as customer service is a big issue for us, and we want to be really good at it. And so we do track everything. We have a cloud. After I think 30 minutes, the data parcel is sent to the cloud system where we store it. for a certain amount of time for the customer, so they can go back and look at everything as we go. So the products come into the warmer, 175 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's loaded onto the back wall. So this is the customer interface right here. This would be the drive-through that you're looking at, and on the back part of this warmer, we have a stack. You can hold 10, 15, 20, 12-inch pizzas, and when the customer pulls up, if you want to be able to do a drive-through in an automated kitchen, this is what we patented for our unit, but you want to be able to cook and hold the entrees, because if you have inputs coming in from, say, DoorDash, Waiter, Grubhub, Uber Eats, whoever it is, you have multiple inputs coming in. We process all the orders. We have a queue set up when it comes into our Linux gateway, goes to the PLC. We then process the order and load it into the warmer, so that when the delivery driver is in transit, it does all the cooking and preparing, so that when the driver pulls up, they have a QR code on their phone. They scan the QR code. It then retrieves the entree from the back shelf. It takes less than 20 seconds to get the pizza from the back row to the customer interface. We also, part of our patent was done specifically for drive-through needs. If you've ever used an ATM, you know, you pull up in a Ford F-250. I don't have a Ford F-250, but I have friends that do, and they have to get out of their vehicle to use the ATM. So we have a high, medium, and low QR code scanner. It's part of our patent, like I said again, but it's dumb, but it's smart at the same time. Wherever the customer scans their phone, you're telling our gantry where to go grab, retrieve the product, and bring it to the customer interface. So if you scan up high, you're in a van or a truck, the product's going to come to you where you are, where your point of contact is. If you're in a car, it's going to bring you down here. So one of the things that we just started building in our other lab across town, we have 2 labs. One is from our contract engineers at Ventherm, and then the other is lab is ours. So they're building the fridge portion of our automated kitchen. This unit is going to add on about 8 to 10 feet, and it's for it's a fridge. It's separated by a 6-inch wall of insulation. The windows for the pizzas and the hot entrees would be here, and then 6 inches over, you have a window for your beverages. We also do salads, and then we have several rows for condiments and dressings. We added on the salads because we wanted to kind of diversify our menu. If you set this unit up as a barbecue unit, you would take out the salads. You would add your cold sides like potato salad and coleslaw. That gives the operator the ability to give the menu depth for the customer. So if you're going to come through an automated drive-through, you want to be able to get a cold beverage. You want to be able to get side items, your condiments, your dipping sauces, and your entree at the same time. That's our belief. We don't believe that you can set one of these units up and just do pizza, because if somebody's coming from their office to their home and they pull in, they just get a pizza, they're going to have to stop by. If they don't have anything at their house, they're going to have to stop by a convenience store, get out of their car, go inside, deal with cash register, people talking to them in line, all that kind of stuff. How's the weather today? Nobody wants to talk about the short talk. So you got to go deal with that. So what we are bringing to the market is an all-in-one. It's a full meal that increases our per ticket transaction from $8 to $9 up to $15 because we're adding on upsell items. So with that being said, our unit is going to be 26 feet long, and it's going to be 8.5 to 10 feet wide. It's going to be 8.5 feet tall. So that's our footprint, roughly 250 square feet for the building. The whole unit is not air conditioned. We have that compartmentalized, so we keep the amperage extremely low as possible. The square feet that you need in a parking lot space, which is what we're really targeting, is being empty parking lots where you can pull in off the road, use this system really quickly and get on about your business. But it's roughly 1,000 square feet. You should be able to get a ground lease in an empty parking lot for $15 a square foot, making your monthly about $12.50. It runs off of 80 amps, which is going to be around $450, $500 a month for electricity, your utilities. It's electric only. We're doing everything we can to avoid having to build in a bathroom. We believe, talking to the permitting office for several different counties here in Louisiana, or parishes for their health department, their permitting office. We believe we can set it up as electric only to keep our footprint extremely low, and also to keep the running expenses extremely low. So without further ado, we'll go in and I'll talk to you a little bit more about our business model, and let's go in here. Okay, so our food cost for the pizza, the packaging is roughly 62 to 65 cents. We can get it down to about 45 cents with volume. Everything all inclusive, including the 20-ounce pizza cutter. Oh, and by the way, if you don't set the unit up as a pizza unit in the same recess that we do for the cutter, we have a indentation for a fork and a knife. So if you set it up as a barbecue unit or wings or chicken fingers and you want to add the cutlery to the packaging, it's not just designed for the pizza cutter, and that was by design. But the packaging, again, it's 100% compostable. It's environmentally friendly. It breaks down, which a normal pizza box doesn't do after you get oil in it. Ours does. It's renewable, environmentally safe, so that's the packaging with everything all inclusive. It's roughly $2.70 for your food cost per pizza. That's 20 cents for the pizza cutter. We buy 5,000 at a time. We could probably get the price lower than 20 cents if we buy more than that. But with it's $2.50 for the pizza with the box, and then 20 cents for the pizza cutter. So $2.70. Your retail price for a one-topping 12-inch pizza is $9.99. So you roughly have 25 to 27% food cost. That's your margins compared to your price, which is on par with restaurants. So let's talk about the business model. That's our packaging, food cost. The products come out really well, and the reason why we do is because we take a lot of care into storing the products, but also cooking the products with the right equipment. And I'll explain our equipment versus Piestro's versus there's a company out there called Hyper. They use a conveyor oven as well, they use a deck oven. But I'll explain, why we use a turbo shelf. So anyway, our business model is we sell the units roughly near cost. So our cost is going to be $150,000 per unit. That's with small batch. With the 6/10 rule of manufacturing, we can get our cost down to probably $120,000. But for a small batch, when we first begin, we're going to have a unit cost of around $150,000. We have a $25,000 franchise fee on top of that, and we throw on $20,000 on top of our cost. So giving us a grand total of $195,000. I know it's $195,000 for the unit. And if you were to compare that to a traditional brick and mortar, you're looking at $350,000 to $450,000 to build out a pizza restaurant. So ours is roughly half of that, and our ROI, and
a normal pizza restaurant's going to have 5 to 7% net margins. So they do $1 million in sales, they do $50 to $70,000 on the bottom line. That's traditional for a pizza unit. Ours does 30% net margins. So it's roughly 4 to 5 times the profitability and half the cost. There's your value. There's your value to your operators. And that's why we've had over 500 people, operators, inquiry forms come in to our website here in the last 5 weeks since we've started. There's a lot of interest or demand in this space, and we feel that we built our system correctly. One of the big differences between our system and our competitors, for one thing, we have a patent pending on cooking and holding, so we can leverage the warmer as a way to manage the logistics of our customers. So you can have delivery orders coming in from third party. You can have takeaway customers coming through, and you have a way of cooking and holding and organizing the orders so that you can get the throughput of the drive-through done in such a way so that it's acceptable to the public. Without that, you're more of a reactionary type system. You place an order, every person who gets up to the front places an order, and you're going to have a lot of backup there. And if you try to do delivery without the warmer, you're going to have major issues. The other thing is we built our system where the pizza cooks in the box. And I know that doesn't sound off the cuff, like really interesting, but from an engineering standpoint, when you are applying toppings, we have a topping system with Hello Picnic, like I mentioned before. If you're applying toppings like Piestro does, and you have basically just a flat pad that goes and grabs a crust and then brings it underneath sauce, cheese, and then toppings, and then you're putting it in an oven, you're going to have those toppings, the cheese, the sauce, that gunk is getting all over your mechanical parts. I've looked through their videos several times. They haven't explained how that works or how they're going to prevent the food products from getting all into their mechanicals. But one of the most expensive parts of a conveyor oven is the conveyor oven track. For example, on a turbo shelf 1618 like we're using, the unit costs $9,300, and the track alone is $2,500. That's your replacement cost. So I don't know why they would, try to do the toppings and then run it through a conveyor oven without putting it in a box. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because the toppings are going everywhere. You're going to get that into the components. You're increasing your maintenance. It's going to be a maintenance nightmare, where we do our toppings with the pizza crust in the box. And so we have two options. One system comes with Hello Picnic. The other is we pre-assemble the pizzas, apply the sauce, cheese toppings in our commissary, and then we transport it out there. With the Hello Picnic system, we just put a blank template, parve crust, into the fridge, and then it runs through. But when the toppings are applied, they fall into the box, preventing the toppings from getting all over the place, which is going to cause the nightmare in maintenance in the first place. So our system, we believe, is a much better design. You can't get better than this with regards to keeping your maintenance low, having a good warranty on your products. Anyway, so we feel like our design is superior. If you're an engineer, you're a mechanical engineer, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Seems like a little deal, but it's going to add up big time. Okay, so our business model. Okay. Yeah, so we'll move on to questions.
If you guys have any questions, you can write it on the chat.
Let me answer a couple questions real quick that we had come in. They came in before the meeting. By the way, this is what we serve our salads in. The part of our fresh foods or salads that goes into the fridge, we apply a QR code on the label, and that tells us the expiration. So when you're loading it into the system, you scan it, put it on the shelf, and like this shelf, exactly like this shelf right here. that way the system knows where it is on the shelf and when it's going to expire. Part of our other patent, we have 3 patents. One's the packaging, box design. One is the cooking and holding and the management of the logistics. And then the other is our salads unit, which can do wraps, chicken salad, sushi, sub sandwiches, cold cuts. So we can make a fridge only unit and get into setting these up in parking lots and being outside of the pizza wheelhouse. We have a patent for that. The patent is like what I said. You apply the label, it runs through a QR code applier, applies it to the label, and that allows the system to track all the entrees in the system. And if the product on the outside shelf expires, it kicks out to the gantry, and on the opposite side of the fridge, we have a receptacle that it drops into, so the operator does not have to continuously come out and remove products from the shelf to allow access to the products behind it. So that's one of our patents as well. Kay Chase asked a question, what's our exit strategy? So we have already talked to a couple of people that are interested in buying our technology. We're not interested in doing anything anytime soon. We want to get 4 to 6 years in and expand our business and potentially do an IPO. I believe, based on what I've seen our competitors do, and with $3,000, we generated 500 operator leads. So right now where we're standing, we've broken down our operator leads. I believe that we can close on about 20 of them. They have the proper liquidity and experience in the restaurant industry. So out of those 500, it's roughly 5%, I believe, that we can convert. So 20, we could probably sell 20 right now as we stand. Like I said before, we spent $3,000 to secure those 500 operator leads. There's more coming in now, and we've tried not to focus on operator leads. But so in 4 to 6 years, our goal, our company's mission, is to get 3,000 to 5,000 units out in the market. Each unit, if you have a unit that does Hello Picnic and you can customize the pizzas, we believe those units will do roughly 100 orders a day. That 333 days a year at 100 orders a day gets you to $506,000 a year. That's your total revenues. That's 100 orders a day times $15 times 333, if you want to do the math. And the reason why we're able to do that is because we offer a beverage, side items, and condiments. We have other items that we tack on top of the pizza to get us to higher per ticket transaction. Nobody else has that. We do. So we believe that the units that we set up with Picnic are going to do roughly $500,000 a year, 100 orders a day. To put that into comparison to a normal like Domino's or Pizza Hut, they do roughly 200 to 400 pizzas a day on weekdays and 600 to 800 a day on the weekends. So we're just saying that we're going to do 100 a day. Our total capacity right now is 240 entree shelves. We may expand that or we may contract based on our field testing. But that gives you a kind of an understanding of whether or not our estimates could be accurate. They're low. We make a really good pizza. There's no difference between our pizza and a Domino's, and we use the same exact technology. So I believe that the 100 pizzas a day is accurate. If we don't do the Picnic system where we're adding in the topping system, we believe that you're going to do 60 orders a day. That's just with the top 5 products that we load in there. That's the meat lovers, supreme, Italian, cheese, and pepperoni. Your 5 classic pizzas that a lot of people use. So if you do that, your running costs are it runs between $2,500 and $5,000 a month for the subscription with Picnic. So you're increasing your running costs by roughly $30,000 to 60,000 for your subscription service to Picnic, and we integrate that in there. It will increase the cost of the unit a little, and the reason why I say a little is because the only thing that we really changed there is a little bit on the programming and also the panels that we use for the external. It's all 6-inch insulation for the external panels. A lot of people were asking about, are people going to break in? We have a camera, a couple cameras that we're going to put on the external for security. The place is well lit up 24/7 with LED lights. We actually, on the opposite side of the drive-through, we're putting up LED panels. So when you're driving by, you'll be able to see the menu, well lit up, white background. Pizzas would be scrolling through. Beverages will be seen on these panels. So we are going to have some engagement there. You can also run ads on that. So you have an opportunity because you're going to be in a well-trafficked parking lot. You might as well do a little advertising too. It's a potential for other revenue streams. So that's, I know I meandered a little bit, but Kay, Chase, that's our goal, is to do an IPO within 4 to 6 years. I want to have 3,000 to 5,000 units out. We make on average $30,000 a year for the base model without Picnic. That's our recurring revenues, and we make roughly $50,000 a year on the unit with the Picnic. That's what we believe. Okay, we don't have a unit out, so these are assumptions. Okay, so with the median range of that, it's going to be 40,000 in recurring revenue per unit, and if we do 3,000 to 5,000, 3,000 is going to generate 120 million in sustainable revenue, and with the 5,000 units, if we hit 5,000, and there's no reason why we can't, that would be 200 million in total revenues, recurring revenues. So we believe that I can structure this company to have a 25% net margin, which, and then also the exit strategy would be these types of companies, mostly software, are trading at a 18 to 21 times multiple of EBITDA. So, that's what I've learned so far. We obviously have to address that down the road, and there's several different ways you can exit on a company if you don't do the IPO. But our goal is to do the IPO, expand as much as we can, and then go to an IPO within 4 to 6 years. John Webster asked, what's the price of the unit at the investment if you invest $20,000? So if you invest $20,000 right now, you get the $20,000 off as a discount. So our cost right now per unit is $150,000. We're tacking on $20,000 on top of the cost, and then we have a $25,000 franchise fee, putting us up at $195,000. If you invest, you're basically getting the unit at cost. Okay. If you invest $20,000, you're getting the $20,000 off, which brings the cost back down to what we had it at originally. The $25,000 franchise fee is used to cover our cost for a couple of things. We use that to pay for the school that we're setting up. We're setting up a training university here in Baton Rouge. So operators, once you sign on, you have a 6 to 8 week lead time for assembling with our manufacturers. We're working with Middleby Corporation, Load King, and Gimba for our manufacturing. And we haven't finalized who we're going to go with, but we have some pretty good candidates already that are highly interested in working with us. So 6 to 8 week lead time on the assembly and delivery. The $25,000 franchise fee covers the school, the training. That covers your hardware training, your software training, and your food production training. Your food prep, sorry. And learning how to work the system, basically. We also introduced you to your contract maintenance provider, which we're working with Pitney Bowes. It's an international company, Pitney Bowes. So you meet your maintenance provider, you go over all different types of, with our engineering team, you go over different types of troubleshooting so you can prepare for once the unit is installed. So in that 6 to 8 week lead time, you're coming into Baton Rouge. We're also holding your hand with the permitting. So we have all the paperwork. We're getting with the permitting office in your area where you want to install, and we're taking you through that whole process. There's expenses there for us to tie up a lot of time to do that. So that's part of that $25,000 as well. The site prep is also included in that. It's roughly $7,500 for the site prep. That's laying the foundation, laying the we have fake grass facade type stuff. We have a curb that we put up. We have bullocks that we install, and we have a base plate that we install. The unit actually sits off the ground 9 inches on a stainless steel pad. We put the electrical equipment under there, but that provides you security from 2 things: rodent control. We designed the base so that the rodents have an extremely hard time to get in. It's sitting off the base 9 inches, so if your parking lot does flood, of course we do some architecture here, so we look at the part of the parking lot where it's the highest elevation. So it sits up off the ground 9 inches for rodent control and for disaster relief, floods and stuff like that. So getting back to, I'm meandering. This is how my mind works. I'm sorry. The John Webster asked what's the price of the unit. So it goes down to $20,000. You're buying it at cost. The assembly is 6 to 8 weeks. John also asked a question: what's the time to assembly? 6 to 8 weeks. Most of the technology that we're working with, we do a lot of CNC type stuff, but it's not anything complex. And we buy our warmers, our oven, our fridge unit, everything's already made. So we're just basically plugging it in. I would like to mention that in our dashboard, we're working with Middleby Corporation. We've had a lot of really good conversations with them. We can plug, they have a monitoring system on their equipment, like the turbo chef oven, where we can monitor the cycles and the runtime of the unit. We also can do preventative maintenance based on their technology. These are things that we plug and play and integrate into our dashboard and help the operator with their experience in managing their inventory and their equipment. The way that we talk to our maintenance service providers, so your service tech, all the communication is done through our dashboard. The reason why we do that, the chat log, is we have a drag and drop system where, like, part of your investment in the unit, you'll get a bundle of spare parts. It's roughly $5,000 to $10,000. These are the parts that are prone to failure: your conveyor track for the oven, the actuators and servo motors, things like that, things that are moving a lot. So you bundle those, and then you do the maintenance through the dashboard. The technician can see before they leave their office, they can see what went down with the system. They can go grab the spare parts that you store locally, accessed by fob, and they go retrieve the items, take it out to the unit. But they do the ticket transaction in the dashboard, so they're drag and dropping a analog of parts that we have in a database. So when it drops, it tells you the price, everything that the service that was pre-approved to update you, and it automatically bills out of your account. So we made that automated because we know that a lot of operators that we're going to sell these to, even though we take you through the training and tell you about the parts, it's not like you can learn everything that quickly. So we try to take that and make it as automated as possible. Why would you want to invest in Speedy Eats? So there's a lot of reasons, but I've picked out the top 4 in my mind. Low maintenance, like I mentioned before. All of our assembly, all the pizzas are held, or entrees are held in our box. which is ovenable, and it goes through our system, keeping the system extremely simple. Pietro has a thing where they open a box, put the thing in, close the box. Like, that's not, I just drop the lid, I scrape it off. It's extremely functional. It's a lot easier to do than the majority of these systems. There's a company out there called Hyper Pizza. It's made by a guy from Israel. Pizza Hut guy. I know people will see that and be, oh my God, it's backed by Pizza Hut. Yeah, it is. But if you're an engineering person, you look at their design, they have a video, you'll notice right off the bat that it's extremely over-engineered. And they're going to have it's going to be a nightmare for maintenance. So reasons to invest: low maintenance, cook in the box. We keep our system extremely simple. For some of the complex components like our topping system, we have support from Picnic. So we have a company dedicated to helping us maintain and support those components for the operators. So it's not just our company. We have other players that are extremely successful already that we've partnered up with, like Middleby, like Picnic, that are supporting us. So that's one reason we're priced right for a quick ROI. I think the Pietro system is indoor only. There's $65,000 price for an operator. They have limited exposure. They're setting up inside. You have to close the shop. If you set it up in a mall, they close at 9 or 10. So those are reasons, or like if you set it up in a school, you just have a couple chances to make money. Then it's closed to the public. So I didn't want to do a system that's inside. Our system can be installed inside or outside. We can set up in an airport and offer. One of the reasons why I don't like Pietro's design is because if you set up in a airport, people in a rush, you're going to walk up, you're going to have to wait for the guy to do his touch. All of our stuff comes through the app. Also, if you place an order and get a pizza from their system, that's all great and well, but you're still going to have to go to a store and wait in another line to get your toppings, your condiments, or your beverage. So, like, it's not as simple as they're painting the picture to be. Our system is all in one. You get a full meal, and you get it really quickly. So we're priced right in the market for a quick ROI. We're half the cost of a traditional brick and mortar, but we're 4 to 5 times the profitability. We can do delivery. We can do takeaway. You never have to get out of your car. You never have to leave your office or your home. Our system is universal. You can do more than just pizza in it. It's an easy drag and drop system, pre-programmed icons. If you want to add wings, boom, we'll send it to you in a day. Upload to your dashboard. Get you set up with our food delivery so that they can start sending you the components, the food products, excuse me. And so it's a really fast to add items. Also, I'd like to mention that we don't do cash. It's all profile. So if you place an order and if you add an item, so say you're running a pizza unit and you want to add wings to it, hot wings or barbecue or whatever. As soon as you drag and drop that icon and it hits your shelf, it automatically sends to all your customers that have used the system a notification. Now, they can turn the notifications off, but if they have it on and they're like keeping track of what you add or delete to the system, they can see that. If you add hot wings, it automatically sends a preset message to all of your customers saying, hey guys, we just added 9-piece and a 12-piece wings. We've got ranch dip in the fridge. Come get it, y'all. That kind of stuff. And it's all automated, so it helps you out. You don't have to go and try to figure out how to market to your customers. You can add this stuff to the marketing. We do the marketing for you, so we can have that as kind of like a comprehensive marketing. So the third reason, first reason is low maintenance. Second reason, we're priced right for a quick ROI. We're placed in a part of the market where there's no competitors doing delivery and takeaway the way that we are. We have strong partners with Middleby Corporation and Picnic. We also are working with several large event coordinators, and we have a partner for foot courier delivery in sporting event spaces like the Astros. We're talking to Seats, SEATZ, to Aaron and Dave. We're going to integrate their system into our program so you can set this up at a sporting event, and you have foot couriers coming and grabbing products, beverage, all that kind of stuff, and bringing out to the customers in the stadium so they never have to get out of their seat. That's why Aaron called it Seats. The fourth reason, so we have strong partners, and that's important for when you're going into a market like this with hardware. But the fourth reason, it's higher per ticket transaction. So our competitors are selling per transaction roughly $8 to $9, and we're going to be having, we will have a $15 per ticket transaction because we're offering a beverage side item. You can get a salad. You can add custom sides to it if you want. We have marinara, cheese dip, garlic, butter, and ranch, blue cheese, that kind of stuff. Little 4-ounce packets. We're doing our salads at $9.99. Packaging is roughly $1.80 for this, or $2 for this. Packaging, the cutlery comes inside the case. It's induction sealed. The 20-ounce beverage, we're selling it at $1.99. It has a 53-cent cost. And the 4-ounce packets, I don't have one up here, but it's a little foil top over. We do our own custom sauces, and it's 25-cent cost, and we're selling it at $1.25. So that's how we get up to a $15 per ticket transaction. That's going to pay off in the long run. And being able to offer a more well-rounded menu to your customers is going to increase the impulse for them to want to pull off the street and come use an automated kitchen. So, with that being said, that's our first webinar. Do we have some more questions?
If we have any more questions, you can feel free to talk or comment on the chat.
So,
All
right, that's our first webinar, Speedy Eats.
Thank you everyone for joining. And we'll do this webinar every month, and we'll post updates on our StarGen portal. And hope to see you guys again.
Yeah, please consider us for investment. I've been with this company for 7 years. I'm kind of like a bulldog. Once I start into something, I'm not letting go. And we will be successful, extremely successful with this business. We have other models where we can do salads, beverages, and wraps. So we have other products that we have patent pending. So we're not a Johnny One Note. And we will have this unit out in the market in 6 to 8 months, and our valuation is going to do nothing but go up. So please invest. Please consider supporting us. We're a solid company for investment. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Personally, you can call me on my cell phone. I'll put it on the chat log and my email so that you guys can reach out to me personally. So please feel free to reach out and consider us for investment. Thanks so much.